خَلَعَتْ أُمَمٌ على مولانا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. My dear brothers, we started talking about an important pillar of the Islam. The important pillar is the pillar of the Hajj, because we are coming towards the period which is one of the greatest periods as well of the year. Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed us with so many periods in the year in which the deeds are highly rewarded, and one of which was the month of Ramadan that we have just finished a month early, a month before. And we are going to welcome one of the best 10 days of the year, which are the 10 days of the Hijjah. The 10 days of the Hijjah are the days, or this period is the period in which Allah Azza wa Jal has made a period for Hajj, to perform one of the greatest pillars of the Islam. And rather than talking just about this pillar, we wanted us to understand what are the educational values of this pillar. And we talked about two of those so far. We talked about that most of the rituals that we do in the Hajj are linked to one of the prophets, one of the messengers, one of the best prophets and messengers, Ibrahim alayhi salam. And that is for a reason. Because Ibrahim, he has shown so much commitment in his life. He has been fully submitted to his Lord. Whenever he is asked, whenever he is requested to do something, whenever he is commanded to do something, you find him straight away. Aslama. حينما أمره الله عز وجل, when Allah Azza wa Jal has asked him to sacrifice his son, the son that he has been granted with after he was so old, and yet he fully submitted to Allah Azza wa Jal, and yet he responded positively to the command of Allah Azza wa Jal, and he tried to sacrifice him when Allah Azza wa Jal has replaced the son by a sheep. And that is one of the a'mal al-Hajj, that is one of the rituals of the Hajj that the community does, that the community of the Islam, not only the community of the Islam, but all the communities from the time of Ibrahim until today's time are making. And we say that one of the other aspects, one of the educational values of the Hajj, it shows how much trial Ibrahim he has gone through in his life. And yet he was patient. Yet he was fully submitted to Allah Azza wa Jal. Yet he accepted the trials. He had trials in his family. He had trials from his tribe, from his father. He had trials in his own family. The son that he has got, when he was very old, Allah Azza wa Jal has asked him to put them in an area, in an uncultivated land, as Allah Azza wa Jal described. And he submitted, and he was patient. He's leaving his family in an uncultivated land and coming back. And he showed how much submission and how much acceptance of this trial Ibrahim has throughout his life. And therefore, it is no surprise that the community of the Islam is going to follow in the rituals, the same rituals that Ibrahim has done in his life. It is no surprise that the community is going to follow in the a'mal al-Hajj, in the different acts of the Hajj, that which Ibrahim has made in his life, so that we can keep reminding ourselves about his commitment. We can keep reminding ourselves about his submission to Allah Azza wa Jal, and to do the same in our life. And I'm just going to finish with one more aspect which shows how much Ibrahim has used this tool throughout his lifetime. Ibrahim, whenever he was in trials, Ibrahim, whenever he is being asked to do something, commanded to do something, throughout his lifetime, you see that he's using a powerful tool. The tool is nothing else but the dua, raising his voice to Allah Azza wa Jal, asking him to make the situation easy or to change the situation. When Ibrahim, for example, he left his family in an uncultivated land, he went to an area in which they couldn't see him. And he raised his hand. رَبَّنَا إِنِّي أَسْكَنْتُ مِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي بِوَادٍ غَيْرِ ذِي زَرْعٍ عِنْدَ بَيْتِكَ الْمُحَرَّمِ. Oh Allah, I have made my family live in a land that is uncultivated, a land that is near to your sacred house. رَبَّنَا لِيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ. The first thing that he asks Allah Azza wa Jal is, oh Allah, make them perform the prayer. رَبَّنَا وَاجْعَلْ أَفْئِدَةً مِّنَ النَّاسِ تَهْوِي إِلَيْهِمْ. Make the hearts of people inclined towards them and towards that place. And that is what we are living up to today. You see people's hearts are inclining into going into that space, into the sacred house. You see people every year wanting to do and to perform the Hajj. And this is nothing but the response of Allah Azza wa Jal to the dua that Ibrahim has raised in his life. Ibrahim, when he was asked, وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ وَإِسْمَاعِيلُ when Ibrahim was asked to build the Kaaba, you will see him رَبَّنَا يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم ربنا واجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذريتنا أمة مسلمة لك وأرنا مناسكنا. Using the powerful tool of the dua throughout his life, in the trials, in the acts of worship, whenever he is being tested, whenever he is feeling the pressure of life. And that's what we should be doing. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam يقول ادعوا الله وأنتم موقنون بالإجابة. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal while you have the certainty that He's going to respond to you. ادعوا الله وأنتم موقنون بالإجابة فإن الله عز وجل لا يستجيب لقلب لاهٍ غافل. Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't respond to a dua that is being made from a heart that is inattentive, a heart that is distracted. Somebody here raises his hand, he doesn't even know what he's saying. He doesn't even know what he's asking Allah Azza wa Jal for. And yet, he wants his dua to be exhausted. And yes, he wants his dua to be answered. Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Ud'u Allah wa antum muqinuna bil ijabah." This powerful tool of the dua, we can use it in our lives. We can use it in the trials. We can use it in the different situations that we face in our life. But this powerful tool can only function and can only work if you are showing commitment to Allah Azza wa Jal. If you are showing sincerity towards Allah Azza wa Jal, if you are fulfilling your duties. Prophet ﷺ, he said, رُبَّ أَشْعَثَ أَغْبَرْ مَدْفُوعٌ بِالْأَبْوَابِ لَوْ أَقْسَمَ عَلَى اللَّهِ لَأَبَرَّهُ. Prophet ﷺ, what he's saying about a man, his hair is not well ordered. He doesn't even, he's wearing old clothes. And whenever whenever he goes to a door, this door closes in front of him. Because nobody cares about him. Nobody of this worldly life gives him any rank. Yet, his rank in Allah, his rank in the eyes of Allah Azza wa Jal is different. لو أقسم على الله لأبره. If he asks Allah Azza wa Jal about something, Allah is going to respond to him. Why? Because this servant is showing like the same attributes as Ibrahim was showing. This servant is showing nothing but submission. He's showing nothing but istighfar, going back to Allah Azza wa Jal, asking Him for forgiveness. So, ud'u Allah wa antum muqinuna bil ijabah. So this is the last series of this speech. I just wanted us to understand these educational values of the Hajj, so that we can have our hearts attached to these great pillars of the Islam, and to perform it while we keep thinking about these aspects, while we keep reminding ourselves about the link between these rituals of the Hajj and the life of one of the best servants of Allah Azza wa Jal, one of the best servants that the earth has carried, Ibrahim alayhi salam. Allah Azza wa Jal, He has described him, وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ خَلِيلًا. And Allah Azza wa Jal has taken Ibrahim as an intimate friend. And He has taken him for a reason. He has taken him because he has shown submission, because he was in trials patient, accepting the trials, and because he was using this dua, invoking Allah Azza wa Jal whenever he's being tested throughout his lifetime. صلى الله العظيم رب العرش العظيم أن ينفعنا بما سمعنا وأن يعلمنا ما ينفعنا إنه لذلك القادر عليه. اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا. اللهم واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير. اللهم واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر. اللهم ارزقنا، اللهم إنا نسألك حبك وحب من أحبك وحب عمل يقربنا إلى حبك. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يعظم شعائرك يا رب العالمين يا أكرم الأكرمين. اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا. اللهم أصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا. اللهم يا أرحم الراحمين يا حنان يا منان. اللهم إنا نسألك أمر رشد يعز فيه أهل طاعتك ويذل فيه أهل معصيتك ويؤمر فيه بالمعروف وينهى فيه عن المنكر. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون.